Though nowadays dance is commonly associated with the traditions of African America's communities such as hip-hop, the Victorians certainly did enjoy the allure of dance, as the 19th century experienced a revolutionary transformation in all aspects of life, entailing new venues in which to mix music and movement, whether a pub or fairground or a palace. The ability to dance well was still a prized accomplishment in the upper class, but the growing influence of the middle class led to a loosening of stiff rules, and this contributed to the creation of new and popular dance styles. More specifically, the Victorian era marked the pinnacle of partner dance. Welcome back to Binge History, where we will be speaking of where to dance and party in Victorian era. Make sure to subscribe to our channel for more content just like this one, and turn on post notifications. With all that done, let's binge history like we binge eat. The Victorian era encompasses Queen Victoria's reign in England from 1837 to 1901. This was a watershed moment in history as the world was experiencing the Industrial Revolution. Contributing to the growing number of the middle class, and ballroom dancing peaked during this era. Evening concerts given by Queen Victoria aided in its popularity. Victorians tried to embrace dancing with each other, casting off the constraints of the previous era. The Galop, Polka, and Viennese Waltz were the most popular Victorian dances, with the tango making an appearance at the end of the era. Moreover, dancing and balls were considered vital means of courtship during the Victorian era. But of course, you still had to follow etiquette even during leisure times. Middle-class men and women used to dance at private balls and dancing parties in their homes, where the furniture was pushed back, the carpet was rolled up, and the music was provided by a professional pianist or an accommodating friend. Hunt clubs, military regiments, and organizations whose members paid subscriptions to support monthly or quarterly dance sponsored semi-private balls. Summer visitors had a chance to dance at promenade concerts at pavilions in seaside towns. The sea dance, first performed in 1845, was an afternoon event with a small string band and piano. Working class also used to dance to fiddle music in barns, the open air, and taverns. In those times, public places dedicated spaces for commercial dancing, such as the Star and Garter in Richmond, that rented out spacious halls to the upper class, and itinerant fiddlers would tour small pubs dedicated to the working class. However, gaining an entertainment license from the magistrate was quite frustrating, which is why many were running such pubs illegally. During summers, people used to party at outdoor venues like fairgrounds and pleasure gardens. One example was the Algar's Crown, an anchor dancing booth, a pop-up lamplit tent complete with wooden flooring, and a bar selling food and drink roamed around London in the first half of the 19th century. Pleasure gardens included the contrasting venues like Chelsea's Cremorne Gardens and Manchester's Bellevue. While Cremorne Gardens were ill-famed for their drunkenness and prostitution, the Bellevue would close at 10 p.m. playing God Save the Queen. With the growing popularity of the polka in the 1840s, Bellevue's management employed 3 brass bands so that dancing could continue throughout the day without interruptions at peak times. The polka craze also sparked a novel development during the 1840s that is London's first year-round commercial nightclubs, Lawrence Casino, a place of entertainment rather than a gambling den, opened in the Adelaide Gallery of the Strand in October 1846. The owner, Laurent, directed the orchestra in flamboyant style, playing music by Musard, Strauss, Fessy, and Lebitsky. The fee to enter was $1. The public also drank a fashionable new American cocktail, the Sherry Cobbler, which contained sherry, sugar, and lemon, and sipped through a straw. Although the casino proved super popular and rivals soon appeared, these venues didn't prosper long due to lacking entertainment license and often being associated with prostitution and crimes. After Lawrence's death in 1857, the Argyle Rooms, on the other hand, operated on a completely different scheme compared to the original Lawrence Casino, becoming a haven for sleazy aristocrats who would use it as a brothel. Social dancing in the early 19th century was in the form of folk dances, a dance that reflects the life of the people of a certain country or region, through which couples moved while barely touching hands. But as the rigid formalities of the Baroque ballroom relaxed, both clothing and dancing became less elaborate and restrictive in the Victorian era. The 19th century social dance can mainly be divided into the Regency, the Romantic, and the High Victorian era, each with its own set of clothing, manners, music, and dances. Named after King George IV, who was serving Prince Regent, the Regency era is commonly used to highlight the period from 1800 to 1830s in English history. The quadrille became one of the most popular dance forms in England and France during 1815. This dance was based on older French dance routines like the contredanse and cotillon. The quadrille featured a variety of quick glides across the dance floor. English country dances like the Scotch reel and the mazurka, a Polish folk couple dance, had all the complex movesets that added variety to an evening of dancing. These set dances were performed by couples in a square or line formation. The waltz, which started as a peasant or common folk dance, gradually made its way into the upper echelons of Victorian society. However, since the waltz required people to dance arm in arm, at first the waltz was more of a hot topic for debates rather than a form of enjoyment and leisure. After centuries of dancing at an arm's length from one's partner, the sophisticated class was resistant to the intimacy of the waltz. In 1853, a writer at Blackwood's magazine criticized, "No father of a family can rejoice in seeing his daughter's waist spanned by the arm of some debossed dragoon." However, things settled down when Queen Victoria and Prince Albert danced the waltz together at a coronation ball, even though they were yet to be married. Although the waltz was heavily criticized for being a cause of promiscuity, it gradually gained a foothold in the dance room after gaining royal recognition from the Queen herself. Waltzing also became common after its characteristic eroticism was mitigated with the offbeat exhilaration of the galop and the polka. The 1840s were a time of revolution in Europe, and the polka was a symbol of rebellion against the nobility. Spreading to the whole continent and across the Atlantic, the polka, a folk dance from Bohemia, became an instant hit in dance rooms by 1844, eclipsing the waltz. There was a lot of swirling around, chasing and jumping, as well as some playful steps. The polka introduced thousands of dancers to the joy of spinning in the arms of another, and dancers craved for more after experiencing this euphoria. The polka frenzy also led to the emergence of new couple dances, such as the schottisch and the redowa. In addition, galop was also introduced, where a man and a woman would chase each other down the ballroom. The term galop here refers to a simple change of steps. Meanwhile, a fast-moving step towards ease and spontaneity in dancing had eliminated the complexity of the quadrille and country dances, reducing them to simple walking. The ethos of this era was a spirit of anticipation, exhilaration, and rebellion. The dances were fresh, creative, youthful, and kind of daring. By 1870, social dancing had become more of a pastime for one's parents or grandparents, and the ballrooms became exclusive to the old guard of the society's upper echelon. With joyful youth out of the picture, dances became dull. The mazurka, the schottisch, the redowa, and the polka faded one by one. This prompted dance masters into devising dozens of new dance moves to reignite the diminished spark in the public, but they remained largely uninteresting. Ballrooms of the aristocracy shifted their focus to the German parlor cotillion games, offering lavish mementos. These were derived from 18th century contradances that took place in small squares and evolved into the German cotillion. The masters of ceremonies used to direct a series of games involving dance and music, with random partner exchanges and playful encounters. By the end of the century, dancers were anticipating something completely different. And who would have known that the next dance form that would rock the stages would come from the ghettos of America? In short, dancing would only become a big business in the 20th century with the advent of the jazz age. However, Victorians danced whether in a pub, a casino, or a palace. Well, we hope that you liked this video, and if you did, hit that like button and subscribe to this channel without any delays. Make sure you turn on the post notifications, and also let us know in the comments section about your views on dance and parties in the Victorian era. Thank you for watching Binge History. Until the next time we meet, continue learning and stay healthy.